The first I heard of the images that Jamie Reynolds had of me was back when George's body was sadly recovered, and that's the first I knew anything.
When she went missing, the police spoke to you about...
The police did come and contact me when Georgia went missing. They didn't mention any of the images. They didn't really explain much, to be honest. They just questioned me, how I knew Reynolds, questioning me about him, which left me quite confused, to be honest.
Because you had no idea what had gone on, but what had gone on was that he had doctored pictures of you in what we can only describe really as a sexually violent way.
Yeah.
Which must have been pretty upsetting for you when you found out about it.
Absolutely shocking. You just don't expect to see that, you know. You're going through the shock of Georgia losing her life, and then to all of a sudden find that your life was potentially in danger and you knew nothing about it was just unexplainable.
And this happened in the pictures that we understand came to light in 2008, so some years previously. If you had known, if they had told you, what difference do you think it could possibly have made? From
the bottom of my heart, I truly believe that Georgia would still be with us today.
Because you know her sister and what you would have said, or what do you think?
Just so close to the family, and there were that many red flags and warning signs that I can't quite see how these authorities have missed these, and why they haven't been acted upon. And I do believe if things had been done and put into place as they should have been, Georgia would still be here. She could have had a warning, if not from me, from Scarlett. Anything is better than nothing.
And Scarlett's her sister, isn't she?
Yes.
Because Jamie Reynolds' own parents, his stepfather, went to the police and warned them about what they discovered.
2 weeks after the attack on the other victim.
And yet nothing really was done in that instance, or not much.
Nothing, no. Not at all. There's so many things that could have prevented this from happening, and that's the devastating thing. You beat yourself up with the what-ifs every day. What if I'd have known? What if he'd have got me? You just don't know, and to see that poor family breaking, it's devastating.
And you knew him, didn't you, from school?
Yes.
And so Georgia knew him, you know, he was sort of known within your friendship circles then?
Yeah, he was, yeah. I was in his class for 5 years. Obviously, Georgia was a few years younger than us at this point.
How did he strike you at the time?
He was very quiet, quite reclusive, kept himself to himself. I always thought it was a little bit odd, but you never could imagine someone would be capable of that.
I suppose the issue is not so much what he was like as to what the police did or didn't do. I mean, West Mercia police have apologised about it and say that they're taking steps to try to make sure that sort of thing doesn't happen in future. Do you find that satisfying?
Yeah, I do appreciate that they are trying to make a change, and they invited us along to workshops, and they said things are being put into place. There's a long way to go, and I hope to continue to see these changes being made, because devastating mistakes like this can't be allowed to happen again.
They invited you along to workshops?
Yeah, I attended a workshop, a multi-agency seminar. It was a training seminar.
And what is your advice to people, for example, you know, if it were to happen again, you would have liked to have known, would you?
Of course. If by them not telling me, that's putting my life at risk. Not only is that putting my life at risk, that's putting the general public's life at risk. And they say they did everything feasible to protect me from harm. From where I'm sitting, they did nothing. But it feels to me like I was completely disregarded. No safeguarding measures were put into place.